Chris woke to silence. The streets were empty. A strange sickness had spread across the world, and every human except him was gone. He walked through empty cities calling, "Hello, anyone?" No answer came. For months, Chris lived alone. He tried to find other humans, but he couldn't find any. Most of the noises in the world had disappeared, and he was completely alone. There was no one to talk to. Everyone he knew was gone from Earth. When people all over the world were dying from the new virus, he thought he would get infected and die too. But he didn't. He turned out to be the only one immune to the virus, the lone survivor in the entire world. Now he couldn't just order food or other essentials anymore, so he found food in abandoned stores and drank clean water from empty fountains. Every night he stared at the stars and wondered, "Why am I still alive?" He thought there might be other humans, but he never found any. One afternoon, Chris saw a bright ship descend behind the ruins of an old museum. He hid behind a crumbling wall and watched. Tall beings in glowing suits poured out of the ship. They moved quickly, gathering strange boxes and pointing machines at empty buildings. Chris whispered to himself, "Aliens? Why did they land on Earth now?" Maybe they caused the sickness so that all humans would die and they could take over the planet. Chris had to learn more about them. He needed to uncover the truth. So he followed the aliens for days, hiding in basements and inside broken cars. Finally, he discovered their plan. They had released the virus from their ship's air vent. It drifted into Earth's atmosphere and killed every human except Chris. But why? Why was he alive while everyone else had died? He wanted an answer. That evening, Chris remembered his grandfather's old stories. "Grandpa said the aliens took him once," he muttered. "They must have kidnapped him for a purpose. Maybe they used his DNA to create the virus. Maybe that's why I was immune, because the virus was made from experiments on my grandfather's cells. Since I share his bloodline, that's why I was safe. Dad would have been safe too if he were alive, but he died in an accident when I was a kid." After realizing the truth, anger burned inside him. "They killed my whole world," he said under his breath. He needed to get revenge. For months, he watched the alien base. Then one night, he found an unlocked hangar door. Inside stood a small spaceship. Chris's heart pounded. On a console, he saw a manual titled StarCraft Flight Guide. He opened it and read by dim red light. He learned the controls, the flight sequences, even how to start the engine, as all of it was shown through images in the manual. He practiced in his mind, then climbed into the pilot's seat. His hands trembled as he pressed the ignition. The engines hummed. The ship rose and slipped from its hangar. Outside, the sky was lit with alien towers. Chris flew straight up through clouds of metal and light until the Earth was a pale blue dot below. He followed the guide's instructions to navigate the stars. Weeks passed in real time, but near a black hole, something strange happened. As he skirted its edge, the immense gravity slowed time inside his ship. He watched the clocks tick slowly. He knew that on Earth, centuries would slip by because of the time dilation caused by the black hole's gravity. After what felt like days under the black hole's pull, Chris powered away and returned to normal space. He set a course for Earth. When he came back, 500 years had passed on Earth, and the planet had changed. Alien machines dotted every continent, and strange devices hummed on every rooftop. The alien civilization on Earth had become highly advanced. So advanced that they had even invented time machines, making time travel possible. Chris landed near the alien capital and crept into a towering building. Inside one of the high-tech labs, he found one of the time machines the aliens had invented. They had left it unlocked. Chris typed a date into the console. 60 years before the virus arrived, the day his grandfather disappeared. A bright pulse filled the chamber. Chris felt himself spin backward through time. He landed in a quiet forest behind his grandfather's house. He ran to the road where his grandfather's car used to be parked. There, under the tall pines, he saw his grandfather sitting and drinking coffee beside an empty camping tent. There was still time before the aliens would kidnap him. So, Chris went to one of his grandfather's friends, a man named Mark, who was in the military and lived nearby. Chris showed up at Mark's house and told him everything. At first, Mark didn't believe him. But then Chris showed him all the recorded videos and photos, his life in a future apocalyptic world where aliens had conquered Earth, his journey through space, and even how he stole the alien spaceship. After watching the videos, Mark believed him. He gathered a team of special forces, and together, they went to the forest where Chris's grandfather was camping. Right on time, the aliens arrived in their spaceship, ready to abduct Chris's grandfather. But Chris jumped in front of them. "Stop! Leave him alone," he shouted. The aliens hesitated, their weapons humming. At that moment, sirens screamed through the trees. Soldiers poured out of trucks, guns raised. A fierce battle broke out as they fired at the aliens. When the dust settled, all the aliens were killed, and one of them was captured. During interrogation, the alien gasped and said, "Our planet is dying. That's why we came here, to take this planet and make it our own. We had no choice but to spread the virus, so humans would be wiped out." Chris and the soldiers understood why the aliens had done it, and they began to wonder if humanity was heading in the same direction. Humans were also destroying Earth with pollution and global warming. If they didn't stop, Earth would die, just like the aliens' home. Back in the city, Chris spoke to the news cameras. "We cannot let this happen again. We must protect our planet, fight pollution and global warming so Earth doesn't die like their world." People cheered. Governments announced new laws to clean the air and green the oceans. Chris watched the sunrise, tears in his eyes. He had saved humanity and his grandfather. He knew the fight for Earth's future was only beginning, but he was ready. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more thrilling tales. I also write novels in different genres like sci-fi, fantasy, and horror. If you'd like to check them out, click the link in the description below. Thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more exciting stories.